Okay. This is Frank Gorgo. He is a singer, songwriter, pianist. He recently did a piece called Back at the Avenue for Vinyl, New Jersey about our Landis Theater. So tell us about that, Frank. What was it about with your songwriting process? How did you go about that?
Well, the inspiration actually came from, they had talked about doing something on the Avenue for a long time. And I guess it's inspiration. I actually walked out of the music store on Landis Avenue, looked up and looked down the street and said, wow, they really are doing something. That kind of was the inspiration. I got like inspired, well, someone's doing something. That was neat. Because it was talked about for many years and nothing happened. So on the way home, I just for mental exercise, because I wasn't hired to do it, I just was kind of just throwing around an idea and kind of wrote the chorus. And in some spare time here, I wrote the verses and stuff and put the music together. And then a singer was coming in a day later to sing another jingle, and I asked her to sing it, and she did. And at that point, presented it to Violent, and they kind of liked it. Because it was kind of good timing. They just were putting their marketing thing together, so they had no ideas.
Oh, for the theater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even for the whole Avenue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a lucky timing.
So I guess your influences would be the people of Vineland?
Well, yeah, the lyrics were written because I did grow up in the area. Vineland was like the Broad Street is to Philadelphia. It was the place you shopped. There weren't malls in those days, so all the big stores, good stores were there. You know, your Christmas parade, like it was in the Christmas Story, that type of Christmas parade. So everything was there, and teenagers hung out there, so it was the place to be. And they used to call it the Avenue. That's what the kids would call it, the Avenue. Went up to the Avenue, ride the Avenue.
Back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. And I actually didn't hang there, but I knew of it, and the guys who did. And then, and so it was like, now the shops are coming back, and I thought, well, it's back to the Avenue. And I thought, well, back to the Avenue, and people from the area who were around the area for a while will understand that.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it also has double meaning, because it means we're going back to the Avenue to shop. That could be someone who just moved there and used to go to malls, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But
yeah, this was featured in the Vineland paper, wasn't it?
Vineland paper. Funny, it became like a little snowball effect. I had nothing to do with this. Vineland paper, Atlantic City Press, but then NBC News in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. They actually filmed me right here, and it was like I was just doing what I normally do.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. Yeah, but it was interesting how it snowballed like that. I had nothing to do with it.
And it was all about the Back to the Avenue song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, you know, Vineland's doing a very cool thing there. So they're doing entertainment and foods, which I think entertainment you can't miss. There's going to be lots of eateries, but also lots of music.
There's a lot more restaurants
and it's going to be more. Their whole plan is just to be that, contrary to like Millville, which is arts, but you know, that can be art and
drama.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Okay, so you compose other things too, correct?
Right.
So what would you say your major influences are with everything else?
Actually, you know, I think and I know if I asked you the same question, you'd say the same thing. I'm influenced by everything. Life's kind of my influence. It kind of stimulates an idea. I don't even know what that is sometimes, but but I grew up listening to country music, so I really liked Hank Williams. Straight ahead, good song, real basically lyrics and song, but something catchy.
Yeah.
And you listen to it, it pulls you in. And then I was in the 60s into the rock music, and again, you know, some good songs, and you know, basic music wasn't really anything. And then my taste grew, and I just started listening to anything. I think things inspire me. It's not more than the songwriters. There's no one songwriter. It's probably great songs inspire me, or you know, great events will do that. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it. I know you're writing. It's some. I don't really write about myself. I normally write about things I see.
Right.
Sometimes a combination of what I felt, and, you know, then sometimes it's fictitious, but most times it's something stimulated you from the world event or a life event or something.
What would you say your plans are in mainstreaming music?
Well, at my age now, I'm not going to be the artist. I would love to pick up a publishing deal and write songs, because even though I write jingles, which are fun, that was really a side thing I was doing that kind of took off in its own way, just that by accident in a sense. And it's fun to do. It's kind of fun because it gave me a chance to do other types of music. But I would love to work with a couple artists who really had the passion to be artists and work with them and develop them, and you know, that's, as a songwriter, it's really, I think it's one of the best type of producers to have for a songwriter artist, because a songwriter who's producing you knows how to talk to you, knows what you're feeling, because songwriters are different than musicians.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We're musicians too, but we have a different think process.
Right.
You know, than the guitar player who's picking up and plugging his guitar and
Yeah.
playing, or the drummer who's grabbing a stick to bang out a beat. We think a little differently about the song. We probably know in depth where it came from or something
I
like
think we
that.
put more thought process
Right.
into it. There's a lot more details.
Right.
Now I know that you have your singer-songwriter thing that you do, but you also have session players here. Like for instance, Dante DeFeo. I know I'm not a session player, but I've recorded here before.
Right, right.
I know you have other session players.
You actually can be. I just haven't had an opportunity to use piano.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
She's a great player. She actually is.
Thank you.
Ask her to sing in your class.
I haven't.
Oh, good, good.
But what would you say for those of my classmates that don't know what session players are?
Well, it's it's a musician, but the special talent of a session player, there's a whole process in the studio, and it's knowing that process. Your accuracy has to be really, you have to know that, you have to understand that. Some guys will just play to play, but in the studio it's like a giant microscope, and you can't fudge it. And so a studio session player is probably someone who just knows the studio more and knows of the accuracy they have to have in the studio.